If you're getting back into cryptocurrency mining right now, you might be hearing about the entity. There are a lot of questions surrounding the entity, and we don't have a ton of answers for it. I'm going to tell you everything that we know right now, right after this. Welcome back, everybody. So, if you're getting back into cryptocurrency mining, like I said, you may be hearing this entity or about this entity. What it is essentially a group or a single set of miners, maybe just a single miner that is putting loads of hash rate on small cap layer one proof of work cryptocurrencies that are primarily Blake 3 or K heavy hashing algorithm based. It appears to be able to be quite robust in its ability to change or adapt to changing algorithms. And that is due to the fact that we've seen it go from mining Alephium to mining Radiant to mining Pyron, and all of these different hashing algorithm forks from essentially Blake 3 algorithms, like, of course, Alephium, or the K heavy hash algorithm like Pyron hash. So it does have the ability to do this, and it is putting loads of hash rate on these networks and in some cases completely capturing them. There is a lot of speculation about where this entity comes from, and it is up in the air. I've heard reports of it being some sort of possible fab in China. I've heard some people say that it is actually Ice River. I've heard some people say that it's Bitmain themselves. And there are some things that I could say that I would say, hey, that doesn't make any sense. For example, Bitmain's got a large market and their business is selling shovels. Really, mining and manipulating small cap layer one proof of work cryptocurrencies is probably not up their alley, so I'm going to scratch that off. What it could be, though, is a fabricator for, of course, Bitmain, and specifically one of the most interesting ones that we could talk about would be RISC-V. And anything that is RISC-V based seems to be adaptable quite easily and very powerful, as we saw with the launch of the X5 from Bitmain, which mines Monero. And that is kind of what I'm thinking we are looking at here, is probably some sort of RISC-V capable processing unit that is easily adaptable and coming from possibly, like I said, the actual fabricator of these chips, and trying to capitalize on what they have access to that no one has access to at this time. It presents a large problem for cryptocurrency miners as we speak, because in the past, especially for GPUs and CPUs, what you were able to do is mine cryptocurrencies early before manufacturers were able to get ASICs out for a particular algorithm, like Bitcoin taking years to get ASICs onto it, and of course kaspa taking, well, maybe like a year and a half to get ASICs onto it. You had this window of time where you could capitalize on mining it with consumer grade hardware. That's going the way of the dinosaur, at least on a lot of new layer one proof of work cryptocurrencies, because, well, they're all forked from Alephium and kaspa. And so if you're trying to do any sort of fork mining and speculative mining, well, you just don't have as much time as you used to have, which is what a lot of people are talking about. It also completely destroys, in most cases, the price of these cryptocurrencies because it's an unknown party. In the case of Bitmain or Ice River, somebody who has announced an ASIC miner for a particular algorithm, in those cases, it usually causes the price to increase, because essentially the idea is that price follows hash rate. I think, of course, hash rate follows price, but that's my particular opinion, and we can agree to disagree on that particular, is it the horse before the cart, or, chicken before the egg kind of situation, right? That being said, when we have a particular situation where you have an entity that has a majority of the hashing power, is not releasing any hardware publicly, and can take control of a network both from a hash rate perspective and a volume of the asset perspective, or control over the volume of the asset, then you got a real big problem. Some cryptocurrency devs, chain devs, are going ahead and finding ways to prevent this by going more towards ASIC resistant. Most recently, we saw an announcement from Carlson Hash where they will be moving to an ASIC resistant version of Fish Hash Plus, that is aimed at preventing this exact situation from happening. But devs are basically in a precarious situation. In a lot of cases, cryptocurrency devs or devs of these particular blockchains are somewhat, financially incentivized to allow ASICs to hit the network because it means that it'll drive price up. But if you don't know who's creating all that hash power, you lose complete control of the network. So you have basically a huge issue to confront here, and a lot of people are making different decisions. For example, Radiant has decided not to fork, and they're just letting the entity mine as much as they want. Now, what I have heard, of course, in the interview with The Art of Satoshi in regard to Radiant in particular, was that they have had some communication with the entity, and the entity has mentioned that they are basically going to meet economic goals before releasing their product. What those economic goals are, I don't know. Will they tank any of the cryptocurrencies they've been capturing? I don't know. Do they have the capability of performing 51% attacks on these networks? Yes, they definitely do. Do they have the skills to do it? Maybe not. Or they don't want to do it because it would hurt them financially. All of those things are possible. But this is the entity. It is destroying small home miners across the board. It is removing a huge amount of chains out of the mineable pool for a lot of people. And it is a risk to cryptocurrencies decentralization at the end of the day, because we have one party that has access to some sort of adaptable mining hardware that is on par with or very close to ASICs, and they are not released to the public. This is worlds worse than Bitmain and worlds worse than, even FPGAs, because it just isn't even available to anyone else. Let me know what you guys think about the entity down in the comment section below. Thanks for watching. Be sure to hit the like, comment, subscribe, and notification bells down below, and maybe you'll know a little bit more about what people are talking about when they refer to the entity. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next Tuesday.